Okay, good morning. Uh, yes, good morning. I'm awake and Bob Ross shirt for the win. Yeah, it's good. Let me know if we are actually live and you can hear me. I can always try and pull it up on my phone and see if that works. Sometimes it's easy to tell and sometimes it's not so easy to tell. Let's see. Da-da-da. Here we go. Okay, I think we're live. So I think we're good to go. Okay. Yes, we're good. Okay, so my game plan this morning is to kind of lean into everyone's sleepiness. Hello, cute Jameis, back from yesterday. Hello, Greg. Okay, yeah, so people are here. People are ready to go. I have some thoughts and Luna Kilo, hello again. So I have thoughts on what direction we would go today, because this is what today is going to look like, right? We have the right now stream, which for me is 8 a.m. We have the 11 a.m. stream in 3 hours. And then the 2 p.m. stream, the second to last one of the day, one of my writing group friends is going to join us and we're going to help her with her map. So we're going to kind of restart through the basic process of figuring out, like, where do we put the capital city? How does she want it arranged? Like, some stuff to match her story. And we'll kind of start like general so we can try and get through as much as we can in the time block. But that's what we'll be doing with the third stream. And then the last stream of the day will either just be a mad rush for me to get done, or Ross might be able to hop back on for that today, depending on if he gets his stuff done, in which case it'll be me doing a mad rush while he provides commentary. But we have 3 options right now. 3 options to choose from. Either, and I think I want to do this at least a little bit, but either we spend a little bit of time cleaning this map up and I get the stuff in it that I like really need for the short term, right? Like get the magic sector in, get a couple of the important buildings, maybe add some labeling stuff. Just to kind of make this like usable as I slowly finish all the little bits and bobs. And we could keep going with that, or we could switch over to doing like a specific map for like, I have like the temple in here, which is this little dude. I'm gonna need to make the map for that. And then I guess it would be this one right here, this academy. I'm gonna need a map for that too. I have like rough ideas of those, but you know, it would be helpful to have a fleshed out one so we could work on those. Or if we get bored of the digital mapping, we could do something even more boring and I could work on painting the global map of that world, which actually, hold on, where is, pull this around, that little island right there is the island that we're mapping, and that little inlet right there, which I need to fix the shape, is where the capital city is. So that's something I'm working on, and these are all mapping things that we could work on. So if you have any thoughts or opinions, let me know, because again, I'm going to do all of these things. The question is what's going to be more fun and engaging for everyone to watch / pay attention to while they're working on their own maps. But either way, let's get started on cleaning a little bit of this up while you guys think about it. It's Sophie's Choice all over again. Yeah, I mean, just, let me know what you're thinking. But you're voting on number 2, the temples. Okay. So I love the globe. Isn't the globe wonderful? The only problem with it is it's really, really slow and it would be very hard. Like, you could sort of see what I'm doing, but like, it would be another, I don't know. It would be a little bit weird to stream, honestly, just because I'm literally just painting lines and there is no shortcuts. It's really cool though. I'm like filming bits of me working on it and I'll put a video out when I finish it, which will be cool, but yeah, the real world globe is like one of my favorite projects I'm working on right now, but it gets a bit tedious. So we have a vote for the temples and a vote for zooming in another level. Okay, so I think we'll do that once we do like a brief cleanup and get like the most important stuff on this one done. So I mostly just want to get it to the point where it is usable. So I think what we want to do is actually properly put in some of my keys, properly put in the contour lines, get the magic sector in, try and get all that stuff done so that all the stuff I will need to reference will be good. We can remove some of this yucky background draft stuff. So I think we start with the contour lines real quick, which this is where the draft layer of those are. So I think someone said that brown is a common color for those. So if we go through and get a brown, and we can change the opacity of this. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Yeah, exactly. And we'll have to do some trees, because, like, we'll have to make a few happy trees today. We don't have a choice. But yeah, okay. Let me... let's rename this. This will be final contour lines. Yeah, okay. I thought it was you, Greg. Like, I feel like you're the, like, all of your maps are crazy. You know about all the like official color coding and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I did find it. We will not talk about, I don't know if you could see how wrinkly it is. It was in fact at the bottom of my laundry bin. But the husband found it, so he held it up to me and I was like, does that smell? Didn't smell, we're good. We're being minorly cleanly today. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so let's get, how thick do we want these lines to be? Much thicker than that. We'll go with like a 18 to start, and I'm gonna move this out of the brainstorming group so that we can see it better. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna like trace this here real quick. I think that'll be fine. Then we can always change the color later. But I think this will be pretty good. Something I've thought about doing is we could add those like black and white check things around the sides of it. Like, I feel like a lot of maps have that so that you can kind of tell the distance. Well, I feel like local maps like this don't normally have that as much as like regional maps will have the like alternating whatever distance mechanism it is. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Thicker lines for major contours, thinner ones for intermediate, usually 1 thick to 4 thin. Yeah, I'm talking about like on the border. So like we have this like 1 mile scale here. If we made a thinner version that kind of went around the border of it, I mean, I feel like that would require some Photoshop skills that I don't have to do it quickly. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but that could be an option just to make it like there's always an easy reference. Something to think about. Yeah, I don't know if I want to add intermediate contour lines. I could, but I sort of feel like having these ones is kind of probably enough, especially given that like these are only 125 feet anyway. Like I feel like these are already pretty like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy in that, but that feels like it's probably fine. Although these do kind of mess with my ditch colors a little bit, but that's okay. We have this. And then we have all the ones in here that I don't feel like you're really going to be able to see. Let's see. Something like that. Yeah, like I feel like they may be something like a layer I turn on when I need it versus something that's always here. Because they do kind of make the map a little bit hard to read. But we'll figure that out as we go. Okay. So I have that, so that we can pencil in the feet, which I think we'll just do like 2,250 feet. Are your contour lines on a separate layer? Yes. Yes, they are. Did I do a comma? Yes. 2,135 feet. 2,020 feet. To them down here. That's fine. I know what that says. All right. Would it make sense to map out zones of the city before individual houses? Yeah, we could probably do that. That probably wouldn't be too tricky. Okay, hold on. Let's go back over here. So now we have our rough contour lines, which we can delete that layer. And then where did we label our contours is my other question. Yeah, so that one we can delete. Okay, so now our contours are neater. So then I guess the next thing would be working on our key a little bit nicer so we can get that out there, or maybe like, would we expect, I'm trying to think if to get rid of all the like helpful lines. Basically everything in the city, unless it's a park of some sort, is going to be a road color, or it's going to be like a building. So I wonder if I almost just either change the background color of the city internal part or change the background color of everything outside of that, because that would be, you know, greener, I guess, in general than like the city. And that could give us like that idea without me having to have that line there. Because for the most part, we don't need a lot of that kind of stuff anymore. But I think I also wanted to didn't I want to make these rivers a little bit thicker at some point? Can't remember. Let me see where I have this. City walls. Let me try. This is where the problem is of like how many different layers everything's on. How easy this would be to move down. Because I feel like it would be a lot wider, you know what I mean? If it's more to scale. It would even potentially be wider than this, but I feel like this is kind of, let's see. Yeah, so we'll move this guy with a little lasso tool. Look at me using a fancy Photoshop feature. Move that over there. Move the colors over. Oop, that's not what I wanted. It's fine. Oop. There you go. Okay, so then we just need to adjust this road, which this is one of our major roads, so I can probably just erase this and redraw it where it would make more sense. We're still on draft roads. I think this one was 30. Approximately. Yeah, so 30 is going to be a major arterial road, so we'll just do that. And then I think that's pretty good. And then we want the river, and we want to make it a lot bigger. The width of the Thames at London Bridge is 0.16 miles. And this is, yeah, I mean, okay, so that would be a mile across if we make it that full distance, which is kind of huge. I think maybe we won't make it that, like, but I feel like if for a major river, especially if it's slow, it's going to be wider, right? So I feel like it might actually be, wouldn't be that weird if it's pretty, you know what I mean? Like, let me just make it a little bit wider to start. And then something we could even consider, which could be interesting, is if they built up like a little part way of the cross, like if there's a little bit of a, well, you wouldn't call that a berm, but like a bit of like earth that it kind of goes around, that they've kind of been maintaining, and they could have like a partial post on if they did a bridge, like something like that could be kind of interesting, maybe. Um, but I feel like it would be pretty wide. Like I feel like that would be pretty unavoidable. Especially if this is supposed to be an actual barrier. Like, it would have to be pretty wide for it to be a proper barrier. Something like that would make more sense. And then maybe this would be a little bit thicker as well. Your river should be about 400 to 1,000 feet, judging by the location in the city. The 1 mile wide river should be at the mouth. Okay, so this would be how many feet? In a mile. Okay, so this is probably a little bit big, but mm, mm, yeah, that's probably a little bit too big. Let's make it a little bit, wow, that's, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the Mississippi is kind of what I was thinking of. How wide is, so the Yellow River is easily 3 to 12 miles wide at some places. And there's a lot of, because there's a lot of rain going through here, which is part of my thoughts here. Like, this is a very, very, very rainy area. Um, yeah, that's what I started thinking, putting like a little bit of like stuff in the middle for the width there. So I think we can make this work. This is like maybe just over half a mile in width. So I feel like that's reasonable, especially if they chose, like, if this spot is slightly flatter than some of the surrounding areas, which we did kind of pick a flatter area, so like it kind of makes sense. Maybe, I think it's valid. I think it works. We're gonna go with it. Although I do wish now I had it slightly closer, but then I think we can make it place a little bit of an island in the middle. I feel like that would work. So let's move this like right there. Let's grab these little guys, move them up. Select these little guys, the buildings, move them up. Select the roads. Erase. Oh, deselect. Now I can erase the roads and redraw them. We want like 30. Sure. Your road, I normally terminate it at a small T shape. I would somehow indicate that it is a ferry crossing. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how I want to do that. Like if I want it to be, Let me Google real quick. How long? Okay, so looking at some medieval bridges. This bridge is... There's one bridge that was 1,692 feet, which would be not quite this long. Yeah, I'm trying to decide right now for sure if we want it to be a ferry crossing or a bridge. The Swarkstone Bridge was almost a mile long, and that's the longest stone bridge in England. Let's look in a different part of the world. Some being as long as 7,000. So they had bridges that were longer than a mile. They're generally arch bridges, but the question is, would they have wanted a bridge here, or would they have wanted a ferry crossing? Because so a ferry crossing would be slower than obviously a bridge. So if this is a major transport place, I guess it's a question of whether or not they want to prioritize land travel over the river or prioritize boats coming up the river. But either way, the boats are going to be relatively small. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Let me Google real quick. Rafts. Okay. Okay, maybe a bridge with a toll. What is a toll? Oh, one of those things. I don't know if they how that looks like something that you need steel for. I mean, not that they didn't have steel, but I don't think they would have had a steel bridge like that. I think that's too Yeah, the river on the other side, Osif, is not as wide. This is the wider side. But I feel like originally they would have been mainly using either raft. Originally, I definitely think it would have been some form of rafts or ferries to cross. And then they would have mostly just gone up the river. But then again, maybe this is the top point and they don't need ships to go past it. If I build a little bit of a port of sorts. Well, I'm not sure, everybody, because okay, the ships that would be coming up here would be basically to come to the capital city. In theory, they could come from higher up in the river, but I mean, the size of boats that would be coming up here would not be boats. They would be flatter bottom ships that can go up rivers. They'd be river boats, right? So then let me see if I can find. They had tall bridges in the medieval world use arches. Yeah, a lot of the ones I'm seeing all had arches, which I think was fine. So I'm definitely seeing some historical maps here. Yeah, I think we'd be fine to have bridges that, arch bridges that boats could come over, based, river boats at least. Not full ship boats, but that's fine, just based off looking at some of these maps. So I think that would be fine. So okay, let's go in real quick. Yeah, definitely a port on the city side. So I think we're gonna do some shenanigans here. So I think we want a bridge, which like this could just be like a straight up like I do that. I feel like I'll draw like lines on either side just to show that it's like, you know, a thing. But then I think we'll have some sort of port harbor. I'm trying to figure out if they'd have like a little inlet, like if they would have dug out a little inlet um for the ships and maybe have some form of like using the wall to like create like a little, I don't know. You're not having a Spanish galleon come through, are you? No, I hope not. No. It shouldn't be that crazy. But we'll want to have trying to think of how this would be structured. Like, let me draw like a little extra draft layer just to like show you what I'm thinking. But if we had like the river itself, like we had like a thing like that, and the walls kind of went like this, I guess. And then you could have a harbor in there. Like we could have it set up like this. Neither option would make a huge difference for the story. Honestly, like this part of it is kind of irrelevant. Other than like the fact that there are going to be enemy forces that will occupy this city. So, you know, they might have some level of things coming up here, but I feel like something like this could be interesting. Like it might make sense that they would build something of this. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Okay, so let's do something like this. So I think what we need to do is first go to the road layer, erase all of this. We'll come back to it. Go to move the wall to behind the inlet. Yeah. Yeah. Let's move this like this. Fill this in real quick. Okay. And then let's mess with this. Yeah, this guy. Erase this. And this is probably like what I was drawing there. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like there would be little bits of walls going like this and like this, like into the water. I'm seeing a few examples on maps like that where they built the walls out like this. And then we would have probably some level of, like, I feel like the walls would come out and around a little bit, right? So maybe something like that, you know? Something along that line, right? Where then, you know, yeah, break water walls. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm seeing in other maps. I think that would make sense. So then we can... Don't forget docks. Yes, we will need to build docks. I need to figure out what color those would even be. Build these little lines out. Little lines. I mean, I do think they make it really easy to tell these are like walls, but boy, are they annoying to draw. Okay. It's a valid point. Let me find that example that I was looking at. The example I'm looking at had it on both sides. But maybe it would okay, hold on, maybe this one would be more like that from what I'm seeing. Because they definitely have them on both sides when they do this, but the angles are slightly different. So I think that would work. So then, yeah, we'll need to move the trench. We'll need to change the wall. Um, between the yeah, I think that one would go away. I think what they would probably end up having is well, no, because that's already protected by a fort. Yeah. So we'll erase this. Get that out of there. Then let's is that where city walls? Yeah, it's on the same layer. Let's erase the trench. Oh no! Forgot that those it's fine. Bring that over here. Let's get the road in first. Real quick. This we want 30 because it's going to be a relatively major road. Most of the ones you're looking at probably were against ocean waters, not rivers. You actually most of these I think they're rivers. Like yeah, some of them go down further. Well, some of these are ocean ones, but some are rivers. Well, I think we could go either way. Yeah, maybe we don't need to have the lower one. So the main road has to be within this wall at least, because that's where they're doing all the taxation stuff. So like maybe we could have two roads going through here. Maybe I need to make that wall a little bit bigger, but like we need to have all the foot traffic coming through this taxation port as well. Um unless we added like a mini space that they have to go to down on this side. But um yeah, it would be kind of in the way for them to go around the port. Yeah, maybe extend the north wall so there can be like two roads going through. I think that might make the most sense. So where's my fake layer? Yeah, let's delete that real quick. Let's have there be a road right along here. It goes around here. That would connect in. And then maybe we'd have this guy comes up here. Then we'd extend the wall maybe to have a whole like second arch path kind of thing, maybe. I feel like it's a little weird, but could be worse, right? And then we could have some like smaller roads intersecting that. You know, like where they might want to cross. A few things like that. Something like that maybe. And then yeah, we need to extend to lots of things here. Let's grab this wall. Yeah, cargo and dock stuff between the two roads. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, like warehouses that they can unload into or unload out of, like that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's re-erase all of this again. But not all of it, all of it. And I think we were in a 12 right here. Welcome, Ben. Thank you. It's neatish, maybe. It's getting neater the more we go. Okay. So there's our wall, and maybe we do erase this. I'm kind of, you know, kind of feeling something like that, maybe. That might make sense here. So if this is our wall, then we still need to do our trenches around our wall, which will have these go around here. Those aren't the neatest lines, but that's okay. So, okay, so we have that. What else do we need to divert? Honestly, I think that's pretty decent. We just need to add maybe some of the buildings in here, and we need to add the ports. Which I feel like, yeah, the docks. Which let me find a good inspo picture over here. And we can even try and draw some tiny little boats. It'll be cute. I feel like they mostly would want to exit straight north from the docks and have more areas there for goods and port services. Yeah, the problem is like all of this here, this is all taxation. Some land/wall to prevent eddy currents in the bay itself. So do you mean like having the earth, or I guess for this it would be like erasing bits of the river, like erasing some of it, like this sort of vibe? Like, is that what you're talking about, Greg? Doing like a that? Is that what you're talking about? But yeah, I think in terms of movements, they'd want to go straight north, but like we have to route them through, because like this, the way the city works, like we have to have them through a taxable spot. Okay, so we'll have something like that there. We have to have them go through this spot here, because this is where all the like taxes and tariffs and everything are going to be imposed on the goods moving through. And try and keep them from entering the city elsewise. Yes, I think that's kind of how that would work. So then, yeah, ports. How do I want, or docks? How do I want to draw docks? I feel like they should probably be the same color as the roads, or just gray, or I could go like a brown. But I feel like we have a lot of brown here, where it might be confusing between the trenches and the contour lines. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, so I feel like I don't want it to be the exact same color as the roads. Docks, industrial color. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Let's do like a gray color, I think. I mean, move this and label these. Docks. There we go. Let's pull this back in. We'll need to add that to the key at some point, but I think like a gray color will work. I feel like they would be like wood, but I don't know. We'll go gray, yeah. So let's see. We probably would have a general line of just docks around the whole edge. And then we would have a few spots that come in. Why do all these maps not have what I want? It's kind of interesting. Some of those. Have some of... No, that's not what I wanted. Don't do this to me. Yeah, I feel like a lot of them would just be like just like variations of this sort of a thing, you know? Hello, Angel Faye. Welcome to another day of streaming. Put a house width between them. Yeah. I mean, honestly, realistically, I'm probably making them way too big. So I think we'll just start over and make them smaller. That is a lot of ships that can be docked there. Yeah, we probably don't need that many ships to be able to be docked there, but like, I feel like there'd be a lot of like trade and like the little boats, and I don't know. I feel like there would be a good number. Maybe. Why not? Yeah, putting some teas. Yeah, we'll add some teas. How is the map coming? It's coming along. This is kind of where we're at right now. We're kind of trying to get some things cleaned up and neatened up so that I can have this at a usable state. And then we're probably going to move on to maybe making like a temple map or something. Is kind of what we're thinking. But we're tweaking the docks and stuff, and we're figuring out how we wanted to do that. So yeah, let's add a bit of that. Sort of a vibe. Maybe something like that. Kind of gives the feel, maybe. Some room for some much bigger riverboats, some room for some smaller ones. Your bay is quite big. It is 1 mile across. Ah, well, bit too late to make it smaller. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be, like, compared to, like, a more medieval European city, there's going to be a lot more transport like this. Like, the amount of bureaucrats running around in and out of this is going to be pretty extreme. So the time period for here is going to be, you can maybe think, maybe like 14th century, but more, like South, Eastern Asian type of technology, maybe, ish. Somewhere in that. It's sort of like pre-Renaissance, that sort of stuff. Like they have like the early like printing presses and technologies like that, but let's see. You could modify the bay to be more like Carthage's with a bay, circle in the middle. Let me search. I'm gonna search that. Oh, that is interesting. Ooh. Save. Good point. Yeah. Well, and my other argument maybe for having it be so big is that they're not going to be big ships, right? Like these are going to be smaller, lower bottomed ships, right? Or yeah, they're not going to be as deep, they're going to be smaller. So like if a whole ship was coming in, they'd probably have to split all the cargo if it was coming all the way up here for some reason. They would have to put it on a bunch of different ships. So I feel like you'd have more smaller boats coming in here. Um, yeah, that could be interesting. Trying to see how that would work. I'm not sure how I would make it work here and have it connect. I'm not sure. Um, I might leave it like this for now, just because, like, I feel like that would be less done with tiny little riverboats kind of a thing. This is definitely very huge. It's definitely very, very huge. It is very huge. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah, like I could put a little something there just to, because you're talking about doing like that sort of a vibe, right? Yeah. No, I will say again, like in terms of like the infrastructure, there's going to be a lot more infrastructure and history of infrastructure here than there would have been in many places in like medieval Europe, just due to the way their society was. Even a little leftover island from digging out the bay. Yeah, potentially. Well, actually, depending on when they did it, magic could have been used to dig it out. We'll we'll do it for now because it would be an easy thing to change later. So we'll put it in for now. If I end up not liking it, I can always take it back out. Yeah, because like this little island alone is like pretty big. Actually, maybe. Let's get some buildings here in our dock area. There we go, 6. Little lighthouse, little tower. Yeah, I mean, that does kind of make sense. Oh, that's not what I want. Yeah, okay, let's go back to... There we go. So we can have little like... little buildings here. Perhaps. Maybe something like that. I would close the bay from the western side, extend the wall/bit to join the island. So they only have one entrance into it? That's an idea. Think about that. The very least, I think they would have maybe like a little wall along the edge of this. Like that sort of a thing. Okay. So one entrance helps with hydrodynamics so that the boats aren't having to fight the currents to get out is what we're thinking. That could make sense. Do something like that. That sort of a thing. And then for the roads, we could have a smaller road coming along here. That could be interesting. Yeah. Okay, she's cute. That works. Okay, so let's go back, add a few more buildings here, and then we're not gonna fill the whole thing in, but we're gonna add a few buildings because there would definitely be like a good number of like warehouses down here. So we'll just add some of those in. That's sort of a thing, you know, in there. And I could see there being something where like certain sections of the cruise from the little riverboats, like they wouldn't necessarily want to go all up into the city. So there might even be some like smaller like areas where there's like little places they sleep for the night, little taverns, little like residentially areas, just to be able to take care of the ship workers that don't have time to come all the way up. Yeah, service buildings, all the temporary storage facilities, all that stuff. I feel like would be in here. Which, you know, we can always add tons and tons of these in. But I feel like that's kind of the general idea of what we're going for here. You know, like where there's going to be plenty of buildings, stuff going in and around here. Could have a block with large warehouses then to show the presence of larger. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Larger trade organizations. Yeah. So we can have some like, or honestly, what we might have is like full out little like complexes, which might be owned by some of the larger like trade organizations, just to keep all their stuff fully protected. Could see that being a thing. You know, something like that. And then maybe some individual larger warehouse buildings. I would add black lines on either side of the bridge to make it stand out more. Yeah, like our bridge one. Yeah, I want to do that. I don't know if I want to make that on the road layer or if I want to make it on a separate layer, which should probably be like larger one there. Sort of a vibe. Then maybe some smaller buildings around here. Perhaps the wall layer to indicate the brigade. That's a good point. Let's go over to the wall layer. And we'll keep them this thinner color because I think that makes sense to do. Should we want that connected? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's fun, you know? I feel like that makes sense. Looks great with that harbor island. Yeah, I think it's fun. It adds some character. Okay, wait. So let me, real quick, let's add a few colors in here. So in terms of the military, I feel like all of these buildings out here, those are going to be military type buildings. Um, this is probably a military type building. If they tax leaving the harbor area, wouldn't a lot of goods be stored outside it? Yeah, so my expectation here is that everything like that would be going into these temporary warehouses is mostly just like a holding spot for like maybe if you're shipping goods out, they go through the main gate, they get imported, they go to the warehouses, and then once the ship's ready to load, you can send it out, right? Or when they come in, you unload everything into the ship in the warehouse, and then you would that from there load it onto carts and stuff to bring it up through the city to be taxed. But nothing like it wouldn't be permanent storage here. It would sort of be like holding locations as they're getting ready to ship things in and out of the city. Yes, we could add crenellations on the bridge. Let me come back to that in a minute. Because I think we'd have a few. See, these would probably be their own guards for those compounds. So a few little locations relevant to various usages of the military. So then trying to figure out what color I would want to make, because I don't have anything for like industrial type buildings, and this isn't really a residential area. So not entirely sure what color I want to make that. Because if I make it a color, then I also need to color the things inside the city that color. So maybe I will just leave them for now and figure that out later. Like maybe they'll just end up being like a gray color or like industrial gray color for buildings. Okay, yeah. So maybe we'll do something like that and just make it a different gray than the ports. But let's add crenellations here. Black. Just to indicate that those are there. Yeah, sure, that works. Okay, so then I think we should work on, well, actually, let's real quick, really quick. Where's my docks color? Let's do, because we can, a couple wee boats. Because I feel like, we should have a few little boats here and there. Where is what I was looking at before? Kind of thing. I know, I built a boat. They're good. So we could have like a couple bigger ones. Like really awful boats, but that's fine. It's fine. I feel like that works. And then, although this is going to be hard to do the inside of them. I feel like that doesn't look great. Whatever. They're just for a few little boats. And then we'll yeah, that's fine. Boat building 101. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. And then what kind of gray color is that? If we do like a lighter gray and then just make a lot of this this gray color. Then I think we add a wake to the boat travel. Ooh, that's smart. That's smart. Okay. Okay. We'll go back to that in a minute. Let's go back to that. This is our industrial area. And some of these buildings, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I just color all these gray real quick, then we can, because I feel like I would want to add a few buildings that aren't necessarily industrial in focus, but like probably mostly like middle class slash slum, maybe some buildings of that, which could be various taverns or eating places or like, you know, like places you could grab some base supplies without having to go into the city. Might make some sense here. So let's look over here real quick at this. Slums, dock water workers are never well paid. Okay, so we'll do a couple middle and then a handful of slums. Because I feel like there'd be something for like, you know, if people are traveling, you know, because a lot of it would be people or officials coming through here as well. So let's make a few of these buildings for that purpose. Maybe. Just a few. And then let's go copy the, or would the dock be serviced from folks further in town? I don't think there'd be permanent residences down here. I think it, like the people that work here would mostly come from the city, but there would be like temporary, like, because like what if a ship comes in really late? You know what I mean? Like I feel like it would make sense for there to be some minor level of like services here. So we'll go, and also like, you know, people will be traveling in here, so maybe, you know, we do like that. Maybe, let's see, some of these buildings over here, you know, and then the rest are all mostly like industrial buildings. Like I feel like that could be a vibe of some form. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then we were going to look at choop, 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 choop. Yeah, I know I cut off the canal. I've been ignoring it and hoping no one notices it. No, but we'll have to redirect that. I'm just not entirely sure how much we'll need to redirect it. So I might just bring it back to here. We'll save. And then we'll come back to that and figure it out. But I think, real quick, just because Bob Ross shirt, right? Let's add a few little trees. Because again, like this is put the canal in the trench. Oh, there be an idea. We might do that. Although wouldn't that erode away the trench? Like quicker? I don't know. But I feel like, you know, there might be some little bits of like trees in here. Because again, like this is a very tropical area. So I feel like to some extent having some trees would be, you know, and they probably wouldn't have been as worried about defense for keeping the walls super clear of trees. So like this whole area is probably going to be like they would have minorly cleared it out, but they're probably not really good at keeping this area, you know, mostly cleared out. Could erode it, but it also can be lined with bricks. That's fair. Yeah, so maybe we'll have that connect over with that at some point. Let's just add some bits of trees here to give us the full effect, I guess. Because I feel like, you know, especially since it's been a very long time since they've actually had to use many defenses, they're not going to be too worried about visibility, even though they probably should be. So we'll just, you know, add some trees in here. Some happy little trees, if you would. We won't make it too thick, just because. Be like, Ross would have a major defense issue with these trees by the walls on the outside. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, my thought though, although maybe we can push them back a little bit, but like, they're not probably working that hard to but you know, we'll say that we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they have kept at least a small perimeter cleared. Not as much as they should, but a small perimeter cleared. Do that. At least. Yeah, like it's definitely would be more good defensive, but I'm trying to show signs of like them being neglectful here. So I feel like that's enough distance there. We'll add like a couple trees there. They're just, you know, and then we'll keep the trees. Maybe they've kept them out this far. And then they've just gotten lazy about like clearing the trees because they probably should have cleared them more than this. But, you know, I feel like that's okay. And we might, depending on how the city ends up growing on the inside, it may get rid of some of those trees there, but I think that'll be okay. Yeah, well, it's like they're supposed to be lazy, you know what I mean? So I'll add a couple like little spots of trees in here. Over here. Yeah, that might be like more trees. We'll figure that out more later. And then we have this wall that they started building. So they probably started clearing trees. Okay, so I think that's good for now. Let me add real quick, and then I think maybe we make the key a little bit better. I can live with this. Vigilance, yeah. They could be better at it, right? But they've been at peace for a very long time, so they're not the best. So okay. Yeah, so we'll say they've got that. That's cute. Okay. That gives us our little like docks area. And then up here, I think it would be way less like intense. Like the river is going to be a lot smaller. I don't know if they've built the trench yet. I mean, maybe they would have if that was part of their, well, yeah, because if that's part of their building process, then yes. Yes, they would have the trench already, probably. Or at least they would somewhat have the trench already. On city walls layer. So let's do like, you know, they're going to try more up here. Maybe it's kind of patchy. And kind of that's what they've managed to maintain because, you know, they couldn't finish bothering to finish the wall. Are they really gonna, you know? So I think that'll work there. So then let me real quick go down to my brainstorming rough. Which was this? Actually, we probably don't need this layer at all anymore. Let's turn it off. Okay, do we want any of that still? I mean, I think the only thing we need for it still is like that line of where we're kind of imagining the city to be. But I don't know, maybe we'll turn it off for now. Turn that off. And then we're looking at this. So then should we make a better proper like key and fix up our like scale thing down there, or should we go into adding maybe the magic sector and then from there, you know, we might be close to being able to switch to something else for a little bit maybe? Silly question, does the river flood often? Maybe you said yesterday. So it's not a super no. I don't think it would flood very often, and I think also they would have built up the sides of this so that it could handle the level of regular, uh, you know, that sort of stuff. But for the most part, no. Okay, let's see. Where did I even, what layer is this? What layer are you? Oh, that's helpful because I didn't label it. It's fine. It's totally fine. Let's see. Yeah. So now we had industrial, and we have the docks, which is this the same layer as that? Or did I literally? No. Which layer is that? I can't even tell. Okay, well, anyway, that's layer 3. Yeah, who loses track of their unnamed. Yes, we will label it. Don't let me like go away from this without labeling it. I just want to add the rest of these in. Because we have, we'll just say major roads, minor roads, we call those local roads. But now we need to add in trenches. Just say wall. And what was the other one? Docks. 2 lines for that. Yeah, that's fine. So then maybe that is the background color. No, it's really not. It must be a locked layer or something somewhere. Oh, is it? Oh, it's the other part of my key. That's helpful. That's super duper helpful. Let's unlock that. Let's erase this bit. Just so it's a little bit easier to read and we can add to it. Oh yeah, wall/bridge. Yeah. Okay. So let's find our unnamed layer. Yeah, let's drag this key up to it so that we can merge them together in a second. And then do I have, what layer is, okay, so that has to be another locked layer. It's not that layer. I don't know what layer my colors are on. Let's merge down. Okay. Although what else is in this key layer? I'm not sure, but I feel like there has to be something somewhere else. But that's fine. Okay. Wall. Bridge. And let's go grab our trench color real quick so we can have that in here. Move that over here. Trenches. Boop. Let's go grab our docks color. That color of gray. Bring that up here. Docks. And then we need our industrial color. Good morning, Aaron. I will catch you up in just a second once I'm done adding these to my key and labeling them so we don't lose it again, as is, we are most wont to do. Okay. There you go. Okay. So the road thickness, that's what this 3015.5 is. Those are the pixel size. Okay. We're labeling the layers now. We're labeling the layers. Let's do key colors. And then we have just general key, which I might make a little group for them. And then we'll call this the key / labeling. And then do we have anything else that should go in there? I guess maybe this stuff should go in there. Well, I guess all this base map stuff. So let's just drag our key down here. Yeah. The light thanks you. Okay. This is just rough notes. I think we're basically out of using any of this now. So I'm just gonna hide that entirely. Let's just take this real quick. No, we're not gonna worry about that now. I don't want to worry about it yet. We'll minimize that. River, draft road, stocks, trees, things. Okay, I think we're organized again, and we've saved it. Okay, so to update everybody of where we are presently. This is where the map is of Sonodavka. We've added in or fixed up our docks. That's basically what we spent the last hour working on. So there's a couple other little things that I want to do just to make this in a more usable state. For me, oh no. Oh, hold on. What layer are these in? You're not in the background layer. Stop lying to me. What is... It's not... Why does this hate me? I must have... Okay, let me unlock these in case it's somehow on this layer. Ha, it's palace building. That's a problem. Okay. So here's what we're going to do real quick. Would you consider adding a dam-like structure? Potentially. I have a little area that currently is a little bit of a holding spot, if you would, for water, sort of like a reservoir. But I wasn't really sure how to draw a proper dam. But I would be, if you had perhaps a reference to how that would look from a more, medieval dam, on a map kind of structure, then I would definitely be interested in converting the thing I have into a proper dam, maybe. Key colors. Wait for what? You missed gray. So actually, gray is good because gray is actually already on the right layer because I just added it, or industrial gray. So what I'm going to do real quick, because if I don't, I'm going to lose it again. I'm going to just copy these colors over real quick onto the right layer. And then I can erase them from the palace buildings layer because I thought that was a great place to put them. I don't really know why. Let's move these over. Okay, proceed. Yes, thank you. Yeah. I get so messy with these sometimes if I don't fix the things when I find them. I don't know. It's a rough life handling layers. And I will say part of my problem is that most of my mapping career has not been done in something like Photoshop. Like I've always done hand-drawn maps. So like the concept of layers is a very, very new thing for my brain to like think in. And it's been working really good for me so far. Like it's been tremendously helpful, but it's definitely a bit of a struggle for the wee brain we've got going on over here. My dams are roughly triangular. The dam wall is across the river. The triangle will point upriver, showing the flooded area. Ben also feels this pain of my layering struggle. Okay. Let's do. Okay. So now I'm going to lock my whole key labeling layer entirely. Hide all of that because we don't need it right now. Go up to this guy and erase all of this because it doesn't need to be there. Boom. Look at us go. Then we can lock those again. All right. We're much neater. Okay. So yeah, perhaps draw a sort of valley shape that tapers away from the dam, and then you draw a triangular wall for said dam. Damn. By the light, save it now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So my original thought was that like this is sort of our little like reservoir, but I didn't add the like structures for it because this is sort of how they would control like too much water going into the canal systems and stuff around the city, and probably how they would divert it around versus through. So I think we would have one here. So they're roughly triangular. The dam wall is across the river. The triangle will point up river, showing the flooded area. Okay, hold on. Let me add a layer. Oh no, what just happened? There we go. We'll add a temp layer real quick. So okay, wait. Are we saying it would be like, whoa, that is not what we want. That it would be like this sort of a thing? Or it would be, well, I'm not going to keep this layer. We're not going to keep this layer. This is just like, I'm trying to understand the shape. So it would be like this sort of a thing. Perhaps draw a sort of valley. The dam wall is across the river. Like that? Have you ever heard of yakchals? They're kind of like ancient refrigerators used by desert cultures. They're very amazing. No, I don't think I've heard of that. That is very interesting. Okay. Hold on. Let's erase this. Let's create an actual proper we'll make this a real layer and we'll call this like dams and water retention or water barriers, whatever. Okay. And we'll make this, I feel like it would be black. Like, because it's sort of like a wall, right? Like, that's sort of the vibe we're going for here. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Never mind. I said I was gonna sneeze, so now I'm not gonna sneeze. Okay. So we'd want just like a line sort of like that. and then the water would sort of behind it, I guess, would be the idea. Yes, okay. I don't think I want to add crenellations to this. I don't think. Just because I feel like that would be weird looking. Although, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to add that. Let's expand out our river a little bit, though. And we'll move our trees. The stubs would add to structural stability. Okay, so maybe we'll add them. Yeah, unless you want it to match. It still doesn't need to be like perfectly triangular, but can have this sort of a vibe. Let me erase a little bit of my, oh, that's too big. A little bit of my trees here. Yeah. Grab that. Buttresses, at least at the ends. We could definitely add like, oh, that's too big. Add like something like that, maybe. And then our roads. They would probably have roads that go up like to the sides, if I had to guess. So let's go back to our tiny roads. I think are 6. So like that sort of a thing. Maybe that makes sense? A little bit for our dam, and then maybe they'd have a road coming in here just to be able to like monitor the water levels to an extent. Like they could climb up the sides of the wall, but I feel like that makes sense to have that there. Okay. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Cool. Look at us. So fancy. It's a giant dam. Okay. So the last things I really, really wanted to do, and let me hide my, where is it? Is that on base map? Let me hide my contour lines for a minute, just to make this a little bit easier to do. File, save. We are pinging Greg for thoughts on the dam walls. Greater city buildings. Buttresses, fine. All right, yeah, I think we're good there. So I want to add in this sort of like magical sector, which is going to, it looks amazing. Thank y'all. Right now for magic, we have this building right there. That's the academy. So I think it would make sense for that to be, I haven't done any like cemeteries or anything like that yet. I haven't decided if they're like burn their dead, bury their dead. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if we need a spillway for the dam to handle any overflows. What would a spillway look like? But let me think. There would be... Okay, so I'm going to add some buildings here for the magic sector. Roads. Yeah. A triangular valley. Spillway. Well, I think I fundamentally do not understand what a spillway is. Like I understand the concept that it's like for flooding. Um, is that just there being more clearance where the dam opens up, or is that like there being another small river that goes around it or something? Like the hole at the top of your sink at the bottom of the kitchen spillway would be another channel. So it would almost just be a trench that would start where, like up higher in the river, like up in here, or would start down in here and would maybe like flow away or something. I'm not sure exactly where that would go. But let's do. That's gonna maybe be like the main street for like of the magical sector to an extent. And then I think we'll have. It's not gonna be like a huge part of the city. But let's say we have. Okay, it would flow away. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's say we have along here some like little row houses type of things, which would have like shops on the upside or the bottom of it. And this is something that I actually there's some older buildings in I can't remember what the capital city of northern Vietnam is. It Hanoi? Where I found actual floor plans for these like really old like row house style things that I'm using as inspiration for like my main person's like magic shop that's in the city, which would probably be like in this sector somewhere. Most likely. So we'll add another like back road here. That would just sort of be like this. Then we'll add a couple smaller ones. Maybe one regular house. That sort of a thing. Okay, so let's pop back over here real quick. So the spillway could start at about 95% of the height of the wall. It would be another channel normally dry. From the corner of the dam, it would be where the dam wall ends at the buttress. Okay, so what we'd probably want then, we'll do the dam and water barriers, but we're going to do it the trench color. So we already have that concept of the trench. So it would like this sort of thing. Or it would Hanoi for north. Yeah. North Vietnam, Hanoi. From there. Trench is good. Like that. And then the question is then would it connect down like would we want it to go down here? Or would we want it to go further down? Trench from dam connected to the river. Yes, okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. Like there. And then we'll do that. There. I think that works. Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, so let's go back over here real quick. So this is all mostly going to be like your magic sector of the city. Let's color these in real quick. I'm so happy to make it to a live session. Welcome, Emma. We're doing shenanigans a little bit. Well, I guess we're away from the shenanigans mostly. Now we're just adding the magical sector. Before we were building a dam, and before that we were making docks. But let's make all these filled in real quick in our little magic sector. And this is going to be one of the actual settings of my book. So I do want to make sure it's actually fleshed out a little bit. And I think I'll want to add a few more of the big complexes on this southern side of the administrative complex. I think I'll want to do that. But let's see. Let's do a few more little buildings real quick over in this area. I feel like we would have some significant buildings here. Probably something here. I think we'd have, since again, this is the magical sector of the city. Your shenanigans have not stopped. Fair. Ooh, and a reminder to save. Good. I think we might have some sort of like little park and maybe like little temple kind of thing over maybe in this region. Just because it sort of makes sense with the connection to the magic. And then also there might be some. Ooh, actually, there's another building we need to add. But first, I'm gonna add like. You missed the docks. I'll show you the docks in a second. Don't worry. Let me add a nice big complex type vibe here. Which this is going to have maybe like a couple little like religious buildings / just some like nice trees and roads in there. So I'm going to copy, where is our other, have we added our other religious buildings? Hold on. Religious is this light blue color. Oh, a mill. We probably want to add something like that in. Ooh. Oh no. Okay, we'll come back to that and figure out what layer those buildings are on, because they're not on the right layer, but it's fine. It's totally, perfectly fine. Okay. Let's do 6. That's our little road color. Have those come in here. That come in like this. Have something loop around like that. Something like that. So there'll be other like individual religious buildings. But like I'm thinking like the main like religious centers of that. But let's real quick grab some trees in here. Ooh, that's where my river is. Okay, we'll just do that real quick. Some trees in there. And then hold on. Just fill out these roads real quick. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. That is a nice walled garden. Well, thank you. Okay. So, trying to think. We do probably want some like mills and stuff, which I feel like would just be like, I don't know, random buildings to an extent. Let me think. Thinking. Okay. So okay. Settings for the book. The mills downstream of the dam. So like down along this river maybe. Might have little. Let's just add those in real quick while we're thinking about it. Maybe all the way down here, sort of. could be good. Like, well, actually, I feel like we want... I feel like that makes it pretty obvious what that is, right? Like, a bit closer to the dam. Let's see. We might want to remove that road a little bit to have it be on the other side of these, but... I'm not really sure how many there would be. Big one. Sort of a vibe. Maybe... Excuse me. Let's fix these roads real quick. Yeah. And let's make these... Yeah, so we'll have one, this road can come through here. Go over that, come over here, connect there. Yeah, the dam is a good idea. Very good idea. Put that there. So then I think we'd have... This is not going to be a super huge bridge, but I feel like we'd have one more, like here, going over it. A nice dam story. Yeah, Mill Road. Yeah, probably, for sure. And then there'd be like, you know, houses and stuff, potentially, or buildings for people that like work there, of various sorts. I feel like here, let's go back over to the key real quick. Sorry for this. So I think my middle class, I feel like that's going to count as like basically middle class, farmers, anything like that. Because like I just think that makes sense. Okay, but just to give everyone a little peek at what we've worked on so far today real quick. We have the docks down here, which, woo, we've expanded out. Look at our cute, tiny little boats. They're very happy little boats. Also, Bob Ross. So, you know, happy little boats. A little bit of that sector for ships to come in and out before going, like, imports go in and out of the city and everything. So we've got that figured out. We added some trenches to our little wall there that they haven't finished building or properly maintaining. We build up our dam and the mills. And what else did we do today? We worked on fixing that a little bit. And now we're adding the magic sector a little bit in the city. Yes. Which I feel like there should be more than... There should be a couple little clumps of magic sectors, I think. Like, I think it would be pretty confined to a certain area from the government, but I think that, you know, there could be a couple clumps within that would have, like, different names or something. Maybe, like, a richer version versus, like, a more middle-class version. Some warehouses near the mills. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. But the building that I definitely need to add, which... I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that yet. Bigger warehouses. Yeah, little clicks. I need to add a... What are they called? Botanical gardens. And this botanical gardens is going to be ran by one of the like richer people of the like the favored groups that have the complexes. It's not going to be within the complex, and it's not going to intentionally be for the magical sector. It might be more for like the medical sector, but like some of the magic shops and stuff might source from there as well. So I think it would make sense to add that up here where you would have all the water here for irrigation potentially, and is also close to the like richer hoity-toity people. So I feel like this would be like massive as well, like absolutely massive. So let's do something absolutely massive. Well, okay. Well, is that too massive? That's like a third the size of the Imperial complex. I mean, it is going to be like mostly like trees and little greenhouses and stuff like that. But does that feel too big? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's too big. I don't know. Because like you would maybe have like your main building. You would probably have your little like series of like greenhouses of various forms, and then you would just have like your greenery of some sorts. So draft roads, let's say this would come, there'd be like a little bridge there. Probably have like a little road with a little bridge to these greenhouses, to here, to out. We'll just do like that sort of a vibe, maybe. And then we'd have you would extend it to the walls. So I can't extend it to the walls because that's the edge of that giant cliff hill thing, which I turned the contours off. But yeah, that's all like going to be pretty steep going up there. So it sort of backs up to the hill a little bit there. But yeah, let's add some. Oh, that's a little too close. Add some little bits of trees. Do something like that, and then we'll like give you the hints of like what's in there. And then not actually sure what color that would be, because it's not the magical color. Yeah, expand it to the west. Hold on, my Photoshop is being lame. That could be an inner ring, then put another wall around it. So like an inner ring. Are y'all talking about the palace walls or the botanical garden walls? Like extending the botanical gardens like all the way out to the west? Or are you talking about like adding another wall like lower down the hill around where the palace would be so that people can't even climb up the hill? Yeah, I did save it. We'll save it again because maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah. Nope, I saved it. There's been no changes. I'm not sure if we're thinking expand the botanical gardens or just like add another wall at the base of that hill by the palace. Garden, you already have the inner ring. Make the gardens bigger. All right. More gardens. So we'll do... Oh, that's not the right color. Let's do... There's a building there. Ooh, that's way too big. Boop. We'll fix that. Have a cute little like gate there. Maybe there'll be a little gate there. So then let's add some more little roads. We'll say there's one that goes through here. We'll say sort of like that. Crossing here. Do something like this. I want it big enough so I can get lost. Seamus probably. 2 gardens, good idea. So for building the walls and buildings, I think it's going to be a mix of stone and wood. Just because both would be relatively plentiful in this area. There'd probably be some quarries from the nearby mountains, which are very nearby. And then also it's tropical, so like there's a ton of wood. So it could be like kind of a blend depending on the building specifically. Let's add a couple little like maybe that's a little pavilion. Maybe there's a little something there. Something like that. And then we'll add more trees. Maybe a row there. Something. Ooh, some ponds. That's a good idea. Let's see. Write some stuff there. Let's do that. Let's use the river color layer. Boop. Some little ponds of sorts. And then we'll add some of the like trees back in. Yeah, something like that. I feel like that looks nice. And then we have our nice little botanical gardens. Good. Perfect. I like that. That is good. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any other like specific settings that I need to add in here. That kind of covers my like magical sector. All right, so then here's a call to everyone. Well, actually, okay, it's 10 o'clock. I'm probably going to end this stream soon because I haven't actually eaten breakfast and I'm hungry and I need to stretch more than I did last time. And then I might go in and add some like tedious buildings. But here's a question. When we come back at 11, do we want to do more of this or then switch over to the temple? Because like, what are we feeling? And basically the temple we'd be doing would be this one. And I have some vague ideas for it, but we could like flesh out a more specific map for that. We could flesh out a more specific map for the academy. Oh yeah, and drink water. I also need to do that. Although I've been drinking a little bit. I have my cup here. What I remember. But are we still thinking we switch over to the academy, or do people want to see more of this map? I want to have D&D sessions in your world. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Emma, that would be a lot of fun. My goal for this world is I'm putting an excessive amount of effort into the world building sides of it. So like I've been conlanging my spell languages and like I have a really complex potion system and like spell system that I've basically developed my own version of like chemistry for. Like it's very complicated. You could probably pretty easy make like a video game mechanic out of it because it's so specific. So like all of that stuff, I've been putting a lot of effort into making it really like specific so that I could have other stories in this world and not make this like what do they call it, like a story universe or something, but like where I could have like stories in the same world in different time periods in different places in the world using the magic systems in different ways and stuff. Like, that's kind of, so like maybe one day I'll do D&D sessions in here or something like that. That would be a lot of fun. Yes, lots more. Yes. Okay, so at 11, let's make the temple. Let's do it. I'm gonna gather I'll find my notes before the 11 o'clock stream too. But yes, I think we made good progress. I think we made the city a little bit more interesting to look at. There's definitely a lot on here for me to work on, in general, like making this section kind of fleshed out a little bit, probably give it like a super tiny mini docs. Like there's stuff for me to do at some point. But yes, okay. We'll do that. So I will see everyone back at 11. Do what you need to do. Keep working on maps if you want to do that. But yeah, let's call it there, and I will see everyone in. It's in an hour. Sorry, it's 10 o'clock almost. It's almost 10 o'clock where I am right now. The next stream starts at 11 my time, which is in an hour. Yes. So I will see everybody in 1 hour for temple mapping. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream now. Yes, 1 hour, 4 minutes. I will see everyone then.